The massive and protracted Azure outage that unfolded on, date, e.g. June 17, 2024, or a hypothetical future date, a cascading catastrophe that began not with a dramatic explosion or a malicious cyber attack but with a seemingly minor and routine authentication update that went horribly awry, fundamentally crippling a staggering portion of the global digital ecosystem for nearly 8 hours and exposing the profound, often invisible, fragility of our cloud-dependent world, an event that started in a single region but whose ripple effects were instantaneous and global, first manifesting as login failures for millions of users across platforms like Microsoft 365, from Outlook and Teams to the entire Office suite, locking them out of their virtual desktops, documents, and communication channels, while simultaneously bringing vast swathes of the Azure public cloud to its knees, rendering virtual machines unmanageable, storage accounts inaccessible, and critical application services unresponsive, which in turn caused a domino effect that crippled major consumer and enterprise services far beyond Microsoft's direct control, including widespread issues for gaming platforms like Xbox Live and Call of Duty, disruptions to professional tools like LinkedIn and SharePoint, and catastrophic downtime for countless third-party companies, from Fortune 500 corporations to nimble startups, who had bet their entire operational integrity on Azure's promised resilience, leading to halted production lines, frozen e-commerce transactions, and inoperative mobile apps, all while Microsoft's own status page initially displayed deceptively green checkmarks, creating a maddening disconnect for users experiencing the outage firsthand and a frantic scramble within Microsoft's engineering teams who were initially blinded by their own broken telemetry and authentication systems, meaning they couldn't even properly assess the scale of the damage, let alone begin to fix it, forcing them to declare a code red or SEVA incident and assemble a war room of their most senior architects and engineers who had to first diagnose the root cause, which was traced back to a flawed update to the Azure Active Directory, AAD, the central nervous system for identity and access management across the entire Microsoft Cloud universe, which had been deployed with an unforeseen critical bug that corrupted token issuance, effectively invalidating the digital keys that every service and user relies upon to prove they are who they say they are, and because this authentication layer is a foundational dependency for nearly every other service, including the very tools and pipelines Microsoft uses for deployment, monitoring, and remediation, the engineers found themselves in a digital catch-22, unable to access the systems needed to roll back the poisonous update without first passing through the very broken authentication gates they were trying to repair, necessitating a painstaking, manual, and terrifyingly slow process of leveraging isolated break glass emergency accounts and direct physical access to secure data centers to bypass the automated systems and execute a rollback, a process hampered by necessary safety checks and the sheer complexity of the global infrastructure, all while the clock ticked and the global economic impact mounted, estimated to be in the hundreds of millions, if not billions, of dollars in lost productivity and revenue. Not to mention the irreparable damage to customer trust and the stark reminder this event served about the perils of concentrated cloud power and the fallacy of a single cloud being a monolithic entity when in reality it's an intricate web of interdependent services where a single point of failure in a core component like AAD can unleash a global tsunami of downtime, sparking intense debates about cloud architecture, the necessity of multi-cloud and hybrid strategies for genuine business continuity, and the ethical responsibilities of hyperscale providers like Microsoft to provide greater transparency, more robust failure mode engineering, and improved communication during crises, ultimately leading to a mandatory, company-wide root cause analysis report published weeks later that detailed the technical missteps, the process failures in the update rollout procedure that allowed the faulty code to reach production, and the planned investments in new safeguards, such as more granular canary deployment rings, enhanced automated rollback mechanisms, and the development of truly independent, out-of-band management systems to prevent a recurrence of this specific nightmare scenario. But the lasting lesson of the Great Azure Outage is that as we continue to migrate our societal and economic functions into a few massive digital clouds, we are building a world of incredible efficiency and innovation on a foundation that is, as this event proved, more vulnerable and interconnected than most of us ever imagined, making resilience not just a technical feature but a critical business and societal imperative.